Good afternoon. You're listening to Cannabis Corner on WNHHLP 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from downtown New Haven. We are streaming live on TuneIn Radio and NewHavenIndependent.org. We're also streaming live video on Facebook and YouTube. Just go to your Facebook page and look us up or hit see first to see and hear all the great programs that we have here on WNHHLP. And Cannabis Corner is also streaming live on the Greenhaven Media Facebook page and YouTube page and at procannabismedia.com. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share to all of our social media. It is Monday, January the 20th, 2024. Welcome to Cannabis Corner. I'm your host, Joe LaChance, Joe the Weed Guy, and I am joined, of course, here by this week by the one and only Farmer Lou. Uncle Lou, how are you today?
Hey, how's it going, brother? Doing well, Hey, Kristen, how's it going? Just reporting in from
Reporting live
from the new and improved Nautilus Botanicals in Woodbridge, Connecticut.
Yep, New Haven, Woodbridge, Emily line. Very excited. So lots of things going on, and not an advertisement or anything, but we shall hopefully be soon open. Soon come. It's just finishing up some last things. We had our 75% inspection last week. That went well. And we are doing our 100% inspection this week. So,
It's been a long, strange trip it's been.
It has been a long, strange trip, all right. So we are finally doing that. I am sitting here behind the desk where the bud tenders will be. At some point, we'll give a whole little run through of the show, one day on the behind the scenes or something. We'll post it up and kind of do a little behind the scenes. But yeah, this is the spot. It's open. Yeah, Joe, come down and you'll be able to catch Joe the Weed Guy down here once or twice a week, kind of slinging some wares. You'll be able to see a couple other faces from our community that that has been in the background here for a while. They'll be making their pop appearances here, and we are almost there. It's just got the last bit of little ticket items to finish punching, and that's what I've been doing for the last month and a half, Joe, nonstop. So
yeah, I know. I was over there the other day. I'm looking forward to it. I'm coming over tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that.
Chill, hang out a little bit. Obviously it's now a super professional setting, so I'm trying to make it as unprofessional as possible.
Today, right?
In general, it's not the place that you're going to come in and see Farmer Lou in a shirt and tie or anything. It'd be regular
Farmer Lou with a Nautilus. You got
with a Nautilus t-shirt, and that's about it. So you come in and get to see our wonderful people here that will be doing the thing. I got a whole crew of people coming down tomorrow. Hopefully, get to meet them and meet and greet and kind of see who's gonna join the team. Nobody's been hired yet, but this has been my adventure for the last, obviously for the last 3 years, but now, even more so now. So,
excellent.
As we do this is where I'm at, Joe. So yes, excited, amped. We're gonna start doing the Monday shows from my little consultation room.
Yeah.
So, maybe Joe will come down and join me. We'll throw a green screen up behind the consultation room.
We'll have the logo. We'll be hanging out. It's gonna be fun.
So we'll figure it out. I think we'll be able to do that. And
all right.
Just just that heads up, yes, it's another dispensary opening up, but I'm very excited to say that there's a couple new manufacturers that are coming online, like Lorraine's Cannabis and Connecticut Cannabis Solutions and Soundview Cannabis. These were all social equity licensees that are coming online, so we're able to at least put new products on shelves. So that's the goal.
Great. All right, excellent, Lou. Congratulations, and we'll be looking forward to the progress. I did want to mention today is Martin Luther King Day, so let's all remember the great Martin Luther King today and the things that he did for our country and for race relations. And also, of course, today is the inauguration day of our new president, and we'll leave it at that. And to that, we will go to the corner with Miss Kristen. So, Souza, how are you
That was a
today?
brave
Classic,
segue.
classic Kristen. How are you? You have a big announcement today. Tell us a little bit about what is going on with you.
Yeah, sure. And I was just teasing him. That was a brave segue going from the inauguration directly to me, but happy Monday, everyone.
I think they're equal. I think the level of importance are very equal. Your
There we go.
mortgage company will be very excited.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell us what you got going on. Let's hear the big announcement.
Yeah, so this is my big announcement. It has been a blast being on the show. I joined, it was actually October 23rd of 23 because my daughter's birthday was my first show. But life has changed my schedule. I took a job in the corporate world, so I'll have to be going into the office from 8:30 to 4:30 Monday through Friday, which sadly means I can no longer remain on the show. So this is my last episode, but you're not getting rid of me. I'm still going to annoy you all.
Oh, I'm
It
sure
doesn't
you'll be
stop
around.
anything.
It doesn't stop anything. Let people know you are remaining in the industry, just a different side of it. It's more on the insurance side, but that is a very key part of the industry. You have to have insurance if you want to operate. So
Yeah.
and you are working with a reputable company. Jeremy Ortiz, a great friend of the show, a great friend of the community. So you're still within the family. And of course, if anybody out there needs insurance, now they know they have somebody they can trust, that they can call, and that's going to take care of them. So I think it's a loss for the show, but I think it's not only a gain for you, but a gain for the industry, because now we have one more community oriented person in there in the larger scale, let's say corporate world. But it's a valuable service and it's something needed. So I
Yeah.
think it's great, Christian.
No, and
Congratulations.
it is. Thank
It's a
you.
move
And
up as far as I'm concerned.
no, it's definitely good stuff. And I don't know, I refer to it as my past life, but I had 13 years of insurance experience. And through that entire time, my old colleagues will tell you I was trying to push policies for growers and glass blowers and tech firms that were doing things for cannabis. And every time it was shot down like I was an insane person.
And
So the fact
now,
that I'm going in, right? So it's a little bit vindicating because a standard insurance policy that you just boop online is not going to cover a cannabis business the way it needs to be. So it is really important to have people in the industry that understand what you need because we live in a litigious environment and no one wants to lose everything they
oh,
went to court for.
absolutely. And Uncle Lou, you know the importance of it. Opening a dispensary, you got to have insurance. It's the law. And Hub
Yep.
International
Well, they're
is
our
the
insurance
company.
agency.
Yeah, see,
Jeremy's
okay.
my insurance rep. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So yeah,
so
they
small
have.
world. So if you need a certificate of insurance, I'm going to be your girl. I'll be working under Jeremy as his sidekick.
So that's good. That's Hub International. They do have a specific cannabis division, and
Yeah.
that's where you'll be working. You're not going to be insuring autos. You're not going to be insuring homes. You're not going to be insuring buildings. It's cannabis industry. And I think that's very key. So, with that, do you have any events?
Do I have any events? I've been slacking on the event calendar, but you are very
Don't
in
you
the
worry.
know.
I got a ton.
Okay, go. I had no doubts.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, please.
All right. Tomorrow, Tuesday night, Puff and Paint with C Creations over at the Burn and Learn Center in North Brantford. You can check out Burn and Learn CT to find out more about that. Sarah always puts on a great little show over there. And then let's see what else we got. Oh, we got over here a sound healing and ketamine talk over at the Drip House. That's on January 24th, and that's from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Then we have a cloning workshop, January 25th. That is over at Shoreline Hydroponics, and that is being done up there at Shoreline Hydroponics Cloning Workshop, January 25th at 12 p.m. We also have a cannabis infused mocktail tasting. I think we talked about that last week, but now it's coming up this week. That is also on the 24th, and that's from 6 to 8 p.m., and that is over at Advanced Telemedicine. And I'm going to be posting all these up on social media so you'll know. And then the other one we have here is from Counseling. And we talked about that last week, Lou. That's with Ganesha. And that is Black Youth and Cannabis, A Cry for Help. And that is this Wednesday, the 22nd. And that is
Big part of that is exactly what you're going to say, Joe. A big part of that is that if you are in the field, you are definitely getting continuing education credits for that, man.
right.
That's such a huge thing, right, Joe? We're seeing
Yes.
more and more of that now.
Yeah, we went to one where you got
Yep.
credits, and this is a similar thing.
Yep.
It's from 10 to 2 this Wednesday. It is virtual, so you don't even have to get out and go anywhere. Just go to www.kibnesha.com. Check that one out. But again, you're right. If you're a professional in the industry and you want to get some credits, this is definitely a credit event. So I believe that is it. There's a grand opening of High People in Derby this week. And for those of you who don't know High People, they've been on the show. That is
Yep.
John Salinas. Their grand opening is this Saturday, the 25th. And that is over in Derby, Connecticut. And you can check that out at hipeople.com.
Yep. And then we also have Canna Yoga, right? That's coming up
Canna
shortly.
Yoga on the 27th. Yes.
Yep.
And that is at the Grove. And we are sponsoring the goodie bags for that. Oh, I
Yep.
see. I did miss it. There it is. We are sponsoring the goodie bags for that. That is the Grove. That's from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. You can check that out at Canna Yoga or Salt and Oil Yoga. That is sponsored by the Burn and Learn Center
Yep.
as well. And I believe that is it.
Yep.
So with that, I believe we can bring on our guest. And I hope that's you on the iPhone, Rebecca.
Well, we can always do an introduction. You usually have a nice blurb
I do
there.
have a nice intro. We're waiting here for Rebecca.
But Rebecca's our guest today. Who is
Yes, Rebecca
brother?
Harvey is the owner of Lavender Frog Training, a business dedicated to supporting and connecting small businesses. With extensive experience in event management, consulting, and volunteer work, she specializes in helping new businesses navigate the challenges of growth and development. Her passion for fostering connections and building strong networks has made her a valued resource in both the small business and nonprofit communities. As an active board member of CCSBA and a longtime volunteer, Rebecca is deeply committed to supporting initiatives to empower entrepreneurs and contribute local growth. Her work spans a variety of sectors, including the cannabis industry, where she has built a reputation for creating opportunities for collaboration. Whether through strategic consulting, event management, or grassroots networking, Rebecca's focus is on meaningful connections that drive success for small businesses and nonprofits alike. Welcome, Rebecca. How are you? I hope I made it through that okay.
No, I think you did great. Hi, guys. How are you?
Great seeing you. Nice to see you on the show. Well, Rebecca, it's great to have you. And I see you have a new company, Lavender Frog Trading Company. And I wanted to ask you a little bit about what do you do over there? What is Lavender Frog? It's kind of a cool name. I do like that, Lavender Frog.
Well, the name actually has a lot of history to it.
Well, good. Let's hear it.
Well, it kind of is what got me started with wanting to be involved more with recreational and medicinal cannabis. I had my best friend pass away after being put on pharmaceuticals. Actually, at 17, she committed suicide, and frogs were her favorite thing. And we both always loved lavender and the color purple. So that's where Lavender Frog actually comes from.
Oh, wow.
So it was, after about 10 days of being put on something that had suicide as a side effect, that she actually went through with it and committed suicide.
Side effects
So,
happened.
yeah. And at that same time, I was put through a bone surgery on opiates. And instead of my doctor admitting that I had an opioid allergy, he just said, oh, it's side effects. You'll be fine. And I went through some really bad medical things and realized that with everything else, I could pretty much self-heal with cannabis. So why use pharmaceuticals? So this has, been something that I've been involved with since about the age of 17.
Wow. Right, because I understand your family has been involved before you for a long time in the cannabis industry.
Right. So not only with a hemp farm and CBD company, but now there is a manufacturing and cultivation license as well as a dispensary in Vermont. So I kind of try to follow the laws up and down the East Coast the best that I can.
Right. Yeah, because you're very active in also legislative policy and things like that. But I wanted to get back to Lavender Frog. So what do you guys do over there? I know you work with small businesses, connecting small businesses, helping to promote small businesses, helping make them bigger businesses.
Right. So having the opportunity to meet so many wonderful businesses, most of them right now are in the cannabis industry in some which way, shape, or form. They need help getting to the right marketing people or the purchasers for certain dispensaries or head shops or different places that they're trying to reach. And a lot of small businesses aren't really given the time of day if they don't have a huge presence like other companies for like your Bovida packs or things like that. So because I've had so many years of networking, me making those connections on their behalf is a little bit easier for me. I have, the ins to some of those people they're looking to get in touch with. But not only that, a lot of these companies have the opportunity to work together as well and collaborate on different items or different marketing techniques or, just there's so many different ways that small businesses can actually work together and help support one another. And it's just making those network connections with them and for them that kind of get the ball rolling in certain directions for them. So this is all still really new. However, I have some really awesome people that I'm going to be working with. I'm working with Z's Rolling Papers, who are one of my favorites. They're out of Massachusetts, small business, but all of their papers are 100% organic hemp papers that come with filters. But on the outside of the packaging, it's all artwork. So they actually design their papers from local artists, and then every box that's sold, those artists actually get a kickback from the company because they use their artwork. So not only are they supporting artists and they're a small business themselves, it's just a really awesome collaboration that they're doing.
Oh, great. So you're helping them get their stuff out down here and get a little more exposure.
Right, exactly. And then obviously, I don't know if you guys have ever had them on, but Cushley.
Oh, yeah. We love Cushley.
I do too. Jim and Colleen are some of my favorite people that I've met working in this space. And I am very proud that they, are allowing me to represent them and their company. But it's all plant-based. I absolutely love everything that they stand for, and they're just wonderful people. So I'm really happy that I'm going to be working directly with them now.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Cushley is a great odor remover, and it comes in very.
It's like my
different...
cologne.
Yeah,
I keep one in the truck. I have
keep
one
in the
everywhere.
truck, in the house, in the bathroom.
Colleen is like
Colleen's
like a second mother to me. She's absolutely a sweetheart, and Jim's amazing as well. And that product is amazing. Yeah,
they're old school too.
What I'm hearing, Rebecca, is you got these connections and spaces, and you're looking to help push them over. I have a grand opening coming up, and I'm looking for things to go into bags. So please feel free to reach out. And
there you go.
Yes. And while we're on that topic, Lou, I have, heard about you navigating this for so long, and I am just so happy for you that your dream is finally coming true and you're actually opening, and yay, I am so excited for you.
I've got one more small tidbit, and this is one of those things that's absolutely wild. So I was arrested for a sophisticated grow operation almost exactly 8 years ago from the day that I'm going to open the door.
Oh, wow.
So my grand opening is the 8th,
Anniversary.
and it's like the 8th anniversary of my of me getting raided and everything like that. So if it comes up on the paper, it says sophisticated grow operation in Hamden, Connecticut, and like less than 3 miles from where I was arrested for cultivating cannabis, we're opening our dispensary. So within that, yeah, it's wild. It's when I mean
Bravo.
it's full circle. It's an interesting thing. So anything that you know, as you're embarking on this endeavor and doing the things that you do, let's definitely touch base, and we can, you know, continue to bring the idea of the local dispensary mom and pop style to some more of those products. And you know, a lot of those connections and things, usually we all kind of had that space, but if it's centralized and you've got it going and you've got something worked out, let's make something happen, so it's a one-stop shop versus having to touch base. So
Well, and
definitely.
That's kind of what I'm hearing
what
from
I'm
you,
trying
right,
to
Rebecca? You're trying to create a hub.
Yes. Yep. That's
So, like,
exactly
if
what it
Lou
is.
wants to book a pop up, you have people that could probably come in and do it, right?
Well, or I can actually come and have just myself there with
Right,
all
with
the
all the
companies.
products,
So
right.
a little bit of Z's, a little bit of Cushleys,
Yep.
some literature on Emerald Lounge events, because I'm working directly with them and doing bookings for them. And I don't know if you guys have all heard of them, but they're a traveling consumption trailer set up kind of like a cigar lounge, and they actually give you a safe place to consume without interfering with the Clean Air Act. And
Yep, it's just tough for us because we have to make sure, because
you can't,
as a dispensary,
right, you can't have
yeah,
anything on the dispensary.
right,
But
exactly.
it's a great way to advertise it. I know you also work with the Reefer Keeper.
Yeah, Reefer Keeper humidity packs, small business right out of here, right out of Connecticut. His partners are family members. One's in Florida and one's in Michigan. Really good product. I use it myself. And it really does it gives you the same outcome that a Bovida pack would give you.
So, right. So that's great. Yeah. And then what else? The disposable?
Disposables, and those are great marketing tools. My father-in-law is actually obsessed with them. So it's a little disposable pipe, and it's all food grade material, stainless steel bowl that you put in, you use it, and then you throw it away. You can get them in 1-packs, you can get them in 3-packs, and you can also have them, if you order a certain quantity, you can have your logo or your branding message put right on them and use them for handouts, or you can even sell them in the store.
Well, great. Now, I've smoked out of them, and they're actually pretty good. I don't know if you've ever tried
I've
one.
smoked out of them. Yeah, they do the job. I've gotten I see them at the events, and they do a lot of marketing on their stuff. They pop up, and it's nice to now have a separate avenue. But they gifted me one, and I tried it out. It does the job for the disposable bowl. It does exactly what I need it for.
Pinch, in a pinch, it's cool. Most definitely. These are the kind of things I think that a lot of people don't know about these products, and that they do need exposure down here. And I think it's a great thing that you're doing that, because there are a lot of people out there who are putting out some great products, most of them ancillary. Like it sounds to me like you're dealing with mostly ancillary products. And they need, and a lot of people don't even know about them.
Right. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm going to value as this business grows, is that I don't want to be doing business or being like a brand ambassador of some sort for larger companies. I want to stay with small companies, kind of local, something that I believe in, something that, kind of caught my attention. And I was like, wow, that's a really good idea. Like, I can't believe this hasn't kind of caught on some more. And so each of the companies that I'm working with have kind of been strategically picked because they've wowed me in some way. So if they can't wow me, how am I going to represent them? I have to be able to have as much passion for what they're doing as they do.
Right. No, very much so. Very much so. So what's on the horizon with you? Any events you got coming up that you're working with? Any things going on with any of your clients?
Right now, not too much. I'm also working with a small graphics company right out of Connecticut. very local. Anything that you need as far as signage, t-shirts, business cards, table runners, basically display cases, anything that you could possibly need. I work with a great, print company right here. So you don't have to worry about, long shipping times, things like that. He works with your logo to make sure that it's formatted properly for pretty much anything that you're doing. As far as events, I don't really have too much going, but I am working with a couple of new breweries in the state that want to be, friendly to cannabis gatherings. And as long as, you're smoking outside, but kind of have, a place for, different people to host events and have Emerald Lounge be able to get there. So that's kind of exciting that we're having more and more locations that want to sign on to host cannabis friendly events.
So I like that idea because you can come in with a complete list of vendors. You can come in with the lounge and go into the brewery and say, here's my package, here's what I got. And
Right.
this way, again, and I preach this, out. We have to expand in order to reduce the stigma out to the general public.
Correct.
Because if you consume cannabis, you're part of the community.
Right.
And so they don't, consumption friendly, no sales allowed, but ancillary products,
Right.
people who really deserve exposure and the general public, they'd love that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I really admire what you're doing. I think it's a great idea. And I think that's a lot of what us here at Greenhaven Media want to do with the Canna Yoga and things like that, the different events we're going to be sponsoring. So I know there's probably going to be a way we're going to be able to work together.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you a little bit, what made you decide? I know you were working with a different company before this. What made you decide to go out on your own and do this? I mean, was it just the fact that you saw so many businesses that needed help?
Well, yes. So I kind of saw that a lot of these businesses needed help, and we were kind of, talking about different things that I could do to help them, but also didn't want to have a conflict of interest in any way with what I was doing, seeing that I was working for an event company that did business with some of these people, not all of them. And I absolutely loved what I did, but there were, some, I guess we'll leave it at moral conflicts that I was facing with how things were being run. And, I want that opportunity to be able to step forward and work on my own, help small businesses, do things that I stand behind, and, kind of move forward. And as much as I absolutely loved what I was doing, I knew that I would absolutely never give this and myself the shot that I needed while I was still giving all of my time, my heart, and my energy to somebody else.
So basically it came down to your heart and soul is in with the small business and with the community.
Right.
And you felt like that company was no longer representing that they were more representing the corporate side.
And even though, the cannabis space is everything from the MSO, social equity, consumers, medicinal patients, radio stations, event spaces, it is a little bit of that everything. But I feel like, yes, it needs to be all of those
Fair and balanced. Fair and balanced,
exactly.
Not lopsided. Right. Well, that's it. And that's the thing. We all got to learn how to get along and play in the same sandbox.
Right.
And that's the thing. But everybody deserves a piece of the sandbox and an equal piece almost. Nobody deserves more than anybody else. And that's what I think people need to realize. These events need to just show the entire cannabis industry, not the ones that have the most money.
Correct.
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
So, well, that's good. Well, congratulations on starting the Lavender Frog. I think it's going to be a great thing. And I know that both Lou, and we'll both be working with you. So that's great. I love the companies you're working with. And if anybody wants to work with Rebecca, please make sure you contact her. But I wanted to
move. Easy. It's Rebecca@lavenderfrogtrading.com.
There you go. I wanted to move into now a little bit of the CCSBA stuff because you are a board member. I am a board member. Kristen is a board member.
Right.
And I know there's a lot of legislation coming up this session that will affect the industry in a lot of different ways. I have looked through it a lot. And I want to give a big shout out to the Canna Warriors, and also the other members of the CCSBA for really staying on top of it and keeping me informed about what's happening.
Oh, same. There's so much. I don't know how any one person could do it. And without the knowledge that those teams bring to the table, I wouldn't be able to stay up on all of it. That's for
I mean, there are seriously, I don't know how many there are, but I know there's a bunch about where you can consume cannabis. So I know they're switching around the laws about places that you can consume cannabis or not. But I also know that there's one that was put in literally with help from the Canna Warriors, for caregivers. And I
Right.
think that's an important one to talk about. And I don't know, Kristen, if you want to join in on this, but for caregivers, it's a bill where actually they're trying to push through where home growers can grow for other people who don't necessarily have the talent or whatever, who maybe can't, and be able to provide them with medicine in a more person to person way. It's pretty much implementing a caregiver program. It's similar to what they used to have in Maine.
No, I think it's a wonderful idea. And there are so many growers that have that talent and are able to provide that service to people that, they might like a specific strain that they can't always get at a dispensary, or that, our cultivators aren't putting forward. There's certain things that might work for, their medical ailments that might, not work for somebody else. And if they can find somebody that can keep them up, going with what they need and what they want for whatever they need it for, I mean, why would we not allow that?
Right. Well, because Connecticut likes to overregulate.
Right.
But
So
yeah.
it is allowed. The problem is you can't make money off of it.
Right.
Because we can gift an ounce at any given time. So if you do
Right.
have a caregiver that doesn't have to register as any adult right now can cultivate.
Can grow, right?
Any adult can cultivate. So say Kristen has a friend that's a cultivator and they want to gift her an ounce every day. They can.
Right.
The problem is she can't pay for it.
Right.
So that's where I believe.
Yeah, I actually have the wording right here.
Right. So it's very vague wording. And I think that's what the hope is, that the laws will change so that the cultivator or caregiver cultivator could be able to partake in the
right. So make it more than an
retail.
ounce. Yeah.
Well, there's limits.
Or at least get some of their funds back for what it costs them to grow that product that they're gifting away.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the idea is to make it a profitable thing so that it can become a business. So, that which is I'm all for free market, free enterprise, and free everything. But I just want to make sure that there's the wordings are done, because it is allowed. You can go to somebody and pick up an ounce for free, a gift, because many people do and are able to operate in the space that they're operating right now in that gray area under the gifting rule.
Right.
So there is gifting, but this would look to make it more of a
I'm looking
business.
at it right now. It's
so
5429. It
No, that
says,
and you can read it.
pointless.
It says define and redefine certain terms.
Mhm.
Authorize qualifying patients and medical cannabis caregivers to engage in additional cultivation activities. So they want to
Mhm.
make, if you are registered as a caregiver, you're able to grow more plants.
Yep. I'm with it.
Yeah. Cap certain cannabis testing laboratory fees. Basically make testing available to the general public at a reasonable rate.
Yep.
I'm with it. I'm
completely with it, because fees in Massachusetts are so much lower. I can go to Massachusetts and get a test done for $110, where that same test in Connecticut is $1,100. So there's definitely a way to make it happen.
I actually just had a conversation with Analytics Lab about that, and they do allow that in Massachusetts, where you can walk in as a home.
I've used it.
Oh yeah.
Off your product off, but here you still need your 24-hour notice and permission from the DCP to actually get into the lab to do that. So I kind of brought up to them working with at least to start some of the medical providers that might have patients that are growing.
That's interesting.
To allow them to get their stuff in there.
As a hemp cultivator, I've been able to walk into any lab and just drop a sample
maybe
off.
it was for a tour then. Maybe I'm
for tours.
Maybe it was for the tour.
For a tour, it's a 24-hour, and you can do it the same day of. They just have to notify it. But the problem is the cost. It's cost prohibitive to get anything tested.
Yeah,
even as a hemp cultivator, it's $1,100.
Right.
I gotta think as a dispensary, Lou, that's got to be one of your top expenses on the list. Testing. You got
dispensaries don't test, so
that's right. Cultivators, right.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that causes an expensive thing because you batch out the certain amount of the weight into a batch. So say you take a room down and it's 500 pounds, you have to do 4 or 5 different tests. So now it almost costs you $6,000 just to to get that going,
That is one of the changes they want to make, isn't it, Lou?
They want to make it even more expensive,
right? That was one of the things, and they want to make changes to that where you have to
well, that's a catch-22.
No more small batch testing, right?
Well, it's not small batches right now. Right now, it's large batches.
They want it small batch.
They want it. Well, it's not they. It's a catch-22 because you would be doing a small batch to test more of the product. So, it's more for a consumer so that the consumer knows that it wasn't a big bulk batch that was tested. But with that comes added fees on top of it. So it's, as a business, you start to think, what is the regulations? Because we're so heavily regulated that it just starts to cost so much. Like, we love having a pharmacist on staff to be able to talk to people, but now you have to have a pharmacist for a medical facility, which is a doctorate degree. But as a doctorate degree, that's not a under $100,000 salary.
No, that is not.
Any dispensary that's a medical dispensary has to carry a $500,000 overhead just to keep pharmacists on, which is tough because you want to have that medical professional, and that's why there's so many adult use recreation shops opening versus a hybrid. We're a hybrid, and we're taking on that extra cost, but.
Well, we heard that from Keeber last week.
That's what we heard from Keeber last week. Yeah.
It was too much. That's what I think Connecticut needs to realize. Yeah.
And one of the things that last year, as we were all testifying, one of the things the regulator said was, man, we may have over-regulated ourselves into a corner to make it so that it's so hard to get things up and running, like as simple as they came through. And I have a top-notch, state-of-the-art security system. And then they said, well, we love this security system. It hits everything, but you have to actually have 2 security systems monitoring these doors. So not just the one full-time monitoring, you need to actually have a second full-time monitoring. And now, what does that do? It adds extra costs to things. And it's really tough because the amount of regulation just continues to add to the overhead. And then when you keep adding to the overhead, on top of the cost that you're getting from the dispensary, from the grow facility now, blessings that at least on our side, we don't have a large multi-state operator that I have to pay a ton of fees to. So we're able to take the hit without raising the prices. But somebody like any of those large MSOs, the 4 horsemen, all those guys, they're just going to keep raising prices to cover whatever fees, which is horrible.
I think Connecticut's getting a reality check right now. With a couple of dispensaries, changing ownership, closing, reopening.
Oh, Joe, we got to make sure we do have to. That. We promised them.
That is, we did promise that. The hired collective owner, and this is from Willington, has said that they will be reopening, just rebranded under a new name. So
they're doing a restructuring and a rebranding, and that's all we.
That's all we can talk
us.
about.
Yeah,
but obviously, doing business with Curaleaf wasn't easy. We'll leave it at that. So, yes. So I think Connecticut is getting its reality check right now with them seeing their revenue. Remember, not only dispensaries closing, forget about that. Their overall revenue going down.
Oh, it's nowhere near where they thought it was going to be.
Right.
Yeah. There's no value here. And I think Connecticut has to realize the word value is very important to
There's
the consumer.
there is
Less
and
value. Yeah.
it's who you're speaking to, because if you get somebody that lives at a facility and they can have their tested, whatever anybody wants to say brings them their value. There's some people that find value in it, and then there's some people that don't, and then there's some people that will just never partake in the legal market, which is totally okay. I believe that cannabis is a great plant, and there's room for everybody, because there'll always be somebody doing something.
But you
That's
gotta
the
get
one
your
thing
money's
is,
worth, Lou. It's like anything. I think they
and
don't
some
realize
and I
people
hear
buy
you,
that way.
and some people are completely okay with paying the dispensary prices because of the comfort that the dispensary gives them.
Absolutely.
It's that catch-22.
But not enough,
even
obviously.
millions upon millions of dollars, Joe. You know what I mean? Like, let's put New York. New
That's
York's
what
not
I'm
doing
saying.
where they are, and that's all outdoor flower. Not one New York flower can pass a Connecticut test.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean? Where a Connecticut test, Massachusetts, you can kind of say the same thing. They have lower standards in certain places.
Well, Rebecca, I wanted you to tell us a little bit about what your family's dispensary in Vermont. When you told me about this, I was blown away. How they operate in Vermont.
Completely different model.
It is. It's so nice though, because you can actually go in, and they're kind of like Massachusetts, where you can see the packaging product. I mean, the tincture bottles obviously were full, things like that, and you could see the packaging, read the packaging through the case. It can't just be out. But then behind, like any dispensary that you go into, they have scales right there. They have like these big jars. They look like big cookie jars, and they are just filled with whatever kind of flower that dispensary wants to have in stock. You can see it, you can smell it, you can look at it like up close, and they weigh it out for you right then and there. You can be like, oh, I want an eighth of this, or a quarter of this, or a half of that. And I think their limit is an ounce a day, but it's really nice because you can actually see that product, and they give it to you. It's not in a stapled bag. You don't have to wait until you're off of dispensary property to actually view what you're purchasing, which is just so nice.
How's
the
the
law
pricing?
changed here. The law changed. Activists were able to get that law changed here in Connecticut.
So now you can see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
How
about pricing? How's it compare?
Oh, their pricing up there is great.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I obviously get like a friends and family discount.
Yes.
Here is great too. A lot of people don't know, if you are in the industry in the state of Connecticut and you go into any dispensary and you let them know, most dispensaries will give you, I think it's like 10% off for being an industry professional.
Yeah.
So you can save a little bit there, and everybody's really great about it. And sometimes you don't even have to ask. If they know that you're part of the industry, they'll just offer that to you, which is wonderful. But I mean, I got a 5-pack of mini infused pre-rolls. I got a hoodie. I got a 1 gram pre-roll and 3 regular pre-rolls. And I think it was $84.
The hoodie was probably the most expensive thing.
Yeah. I mean, the infused pre-rolls were kind of expensive, but yeah, I mean, the prices were a lot better. I mean, I've shopped Connecticut, Massachusetts, Maine, and Vermont. I have not shopped New York, but the prices were really good up there.
Yeah, I think that was my point, though. I think what Connecticut has to realize, they're in a competitive market.
Right.
And they have to compete. And now
there's more and more people that are jumping in, like Lou and like other cultivators. People are going to be putting out either a better product or a better product for more of a fair price. And you're right. It's going to get competitive, and people are going to know what that quality is too.
And it's coming, and realistically, as we do look, apples to apples, you start looking at which products are the cost effective products in Massachusetts. They're sun grown. You know what I mean? So Vermont,
our family's cultivation is sun grown.
Right. So that's where you start to do apples to apples, because if you come in and you say, well, I want to get a product, and now the product is a live washed hash rosin indoor flower, now that's a premium product across the board, legacy market or not. You know what I mean? That's a premium product across the board. So now if you're trying to compare that product with like an RSO gummy from sun grown, those are two different. Those are two very large different scale of product.
The production cost alone.
Right, exactly. And that's just running it, because even in the black market, you're still good hash rosin from indoor flower.
Still paying good amount of money for that.
Over $100 a gram.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the fire stuff that we're saying is coming from wherever, not that, 100% I buy it. There's nothing wrong with it. But it's expensive.
People
stuff.
gift it to you.
Right.
Yeah, gifted. That's what they say. But you go and you get those premium products, and you're going to pay a premium price.
Right.
I also think that right now, with the whole Mylar bag BS, I think that I have seen so much subpar flower trying to be passed off as craft in the legacy market than I ever have.
Oh yeah.
Than I absolutely
those
ever
Mylar
have.
bags are tricky.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of times that I have seen what you would want to think was like a homegrown product, and you can literally tell that was.
It has this nice packaging. It looks so nice.
Tell the difference in those products,
and it's tough. And because I'm seeing it, and it's, as much as I want to continue to, advocate for the home cultivator or anything, but now I would say 75% of the stuff I see in the legacy market is repacked block work from greenhouses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's tough.
Very true.
It's
very
tough.
True.
And it's like, oh, I need that $150 ounce. And it's just block work from a greenhouse. And realistically, for that, you can go to Massachusetts and get $150 ounce that went through all of the legally, and in the beginning of the program, I remember picking up $150 ounces from the medical market of their smalls.
Yeah, they do shake. They did shake too.
No, there was but that was the 100. I'm talking about actual nugs. So it was just small nugs like you would get from one of the blockwork guys, and it was the same dollarage. And now it's tough because until we get actually good sun-grown cannabis in this state, good greenhouse, which is allowed. There's just nobody doing it yet, because even like we'll say rodeo is full outdoor, So like when we do our cultivation, we're gonna have the full mix. We'll have the straight up outdoor for soil to oil. We'll have greenhouse for call it block work, and then we'll have some indoor for that higher end stuff. So it's just understanding what you're getting and where you're going and comparing apples to apples versus the tax on it is absolutely ridiculous. The state is bonkers with the tax percentage on top of it. But then you look at New York and you're like, wait a second, New York is a higher tax.
Yeah.
And you're like figuring out where it is. Connecticut has I'd give Connecticut's cannabis program a C if we were going to give a grade point to it, and not even a high C. You know what I mean? Maybe
C
a C
minus. I think we did say that even on the air. We did, C minus.
So there's a lot, and I think that the advocates should continue to push forward. I just want to make sure, because being somebody that's been up there, and I know we've all been up there and we've all seen it, you got to write these things the correct way, because if not, exactly what I started the conversation with is going to be exactly what a legislator looks over and says. Because if a bill just comes out and says we're going to expand cultivation rights to caregivers so that they can produce flower for patients, what they're going to say, and this is that devil's advocate, so we have to know what's going on. They're going to say, well, anybody can cultivate and gift it. So if your concern is just getting the medicine and gifting it, then that's already in play. You know what I mean? These just have to be written. And
Rewritten, yeah.
Kristen will tell you when you and Rebecca, you've been part of it for a long time, and Joe will tell you they want to know what it is. They want that bill to say exactly what you're looking for, because then they're able to write it and not face it in their own way. Because as it's written, and I commend everybody that's making this happen, because the first thing that gets put in isn't what actually goes out there. You know what I mean? So I say keep working at it. Yep, I see the note. I say keep working at it. You're doing a great job, and make sure to bring in more members from the team and make it happen. You know what I mean? But Rebecca, can you tell us a little bit where people can reach you, all those things, and CCSB and all? We've got about a minute and a half.
Okay, so yeah, I know the CCSBA has all of our contact information on there, emails. I don't know if it has phone numbers, but I'm Rebecca Harvey on LinkedIn. I believe I'm the same thing on Instagram, Facebook, and Lavender Frog Trading. I'm about to open the LinkedIn account for that, but I am on Instagram and Facebook. There's not much on there yet, but I'm working to get it all up. Pretty much everybody has submitted their 2025 pricing structures and product guides to me. So I'm just working on getting all of that kind of up and going, and then it's going to be ready to go out.
All right, Rebecca, great. Lavender Frog Trading. And Kristen, last words.
I like my real last words. I should have had a speech prepared. No, it was great. Thank you for the last year plus couple of months. It's been a lot of fun being a part of the show. And if anybody wants to connect with me outside of here, Kristen Souza, Souza. If you Google me, it'll ping you to most of my socials. I am on TikTok is back temporarily, so I'm on TikTok and Instagram as classic_Kristen. So.
All right. And Harry says, thank you, Kristen. Lou, any last word?
Kristen, thank you so much for being a very valuable member of this team. You're not going anyplace because you're still here. You just won't be able to be on the shows. You'll be here in spirit. You'll be here in the advocacy world. You'll be doing all the things, and we really appreciate you, and know that your work has not gone unnoticed, and that you are a treasure and a pleasure to be with. So please, another round of applause for you.
Yes.
And on that note, stay happy, healthy, and high. Rebecca, please touch base so we can do something. I said I got the openings. So instead of me ordering from everybody, let's try to work something out.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, much. Kristen, again, I echo Lou's sentiments. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
And we will see you around. And if you need insurance, call her up. All right. With that, you can follow me at Joe the Weed Guy. Follow us at Greenhaven Media. Subscribe, like, share our YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Thank you. We love you. Thank you, Rebecca.
Bye, guys.